Breaking news now at noon. The National Weather Service confirms a tornado touchdown, leaving behind a path of damage in Concord in the middle of the night.
A lot of people didn't even realize the storm was happening because there was no lightning or thunder.
A tornado in the middle of the night, incredibly rare here. Our team coverage starts with meteorologist Barry Burbank to fill us in on all this. You were busy this morning, Barry.
Man, we came in this morning and saw just a band of rain coming. There was no thunder or lightning, as Kate mentioned. So that sometimes can be a clue if there's a lot of frequent lightning, but this had none. So anyway, the National Weather Service did a damage assessment survey. They just completed it less than an hour ago, and it did, of course, occur in Concord, Massachusetts, around Alcott Road, Independence Road, and Lexington Road. And the time around 3:15 to 3:20 this morning, the strength of this tornado called an EF1. The path length was about a half mile, and the path width was about 400 yards. Now, in terms of the enhanced Fujita scale, an EF1 contains winds of between 86 and 110 miles an hour. The National Weather Service says winds of about 100 miles per hour as they're able to look at as they assess the damage there, and that's moderate damage. We do know that 39 homes were damaged, but fortunately only one with major structural damage there, and there were no injuries as far as we know, so that's very good news indeed. This morning we just had that band of rain coming along, but then we get this classic hook echoing here of the radar return here. This is the precipitation now near Marlborough. Now, there was some scattered damage in Marlborough, but the National Weather Service is not going to assess that. Don't feel that the tornado touched down there, but there was some stronger winds there causing some damage. Then it moved toward Concord. You get this classic hook here as it's moving toward Concord around 3:15 this morning, and that's apparently when that storm did happen. And it then moved off to the northeast and weakened. So we certainly had returns on the radar showing there was definitely a lot of good rotation in there. There was what we call gate-to-gate shear, indicating pretty good rotation, and then that started to weaken. The tornado warning expired around 4 o'clock this morning. So a good job by the National Weather Service to get that warning out early. And we had copious amounts of rain coming down in a very short period of time, causing some quick flooding in some locations. And but that's all by the boards now, and the weather's all cleared up, so nothing to worry about for the next several days. Back to you, Kate. Chris.
All right, Barry, thank you very much. And as Barry was just mentioning, that overnight storm left behind a path of damage from Marlborough to Concord.
Our Nicole Jacobs is in the hardest hit area of Concord, where cleanup is now underway. Nicole?
A massive cleanup, Kate, underway, like the one you see here behind me. This massive tree uprooted earlier this morning within minutes of the tornado passing through here. And you can see they're already starting to get rid of that tree out of the yard. The National Weather Service says it took into account how trees like this one fell, whether or not there was twisting involved, ultimately determining this tornado had upwards of 100-mile-per-hour winds. It was a half-mile long and 400 yards wide.
Under the cover of darkness,
I've never seen anything like this.
Strong storms rolled through the northern part of Concord.
That's not good.
A line of damage stretching from one neighborhood to the next, trees littering yards anywhere in their path.
I don't think my heart has beat that fast ever. It was absolutely insane.
Jenna McNicholas was asleep around 3 a.m., home alone here on Hawthorne Lane.
Like, you can see the trees where the lightning hit, so that was crashing. It crashed into the window where I was sleeping, so that's what woke me up.
Trees have made a mess of her backyard and porch, a few miles away, where daylight brings the sun over Millbrook Farms.
Never had anything like this, never.
It's a sad situation for Sal Jaleo.
Just heard the wind. I mean, it was atrocious. I heard a few things banging around, I said, oh, maybe it'll be all right.
He wasn't so lucky. An uprooted tree crashing onto his greenhouse. A few days of cleanup means just as many without business.
It's going to take a couple of days to get it all cleaned up, and it costs money.
Emergency crews are still assessing the damage here. The National Weather Service determining exactly what blew through.
And I've seen enough evidence here with this is the main damage path, which was basically about 400 yards wide and about a half mile long, was caused by an EF1 tornado.
Throughout the town, branches have pierced roofs, down power lines, and shut roads. Crews are now left with the painstaking task of cleaning up.
And And taking a live look here again on Hawthorne Lane, no injuries reported as a result of this. The MEMA officials say that is because of the emergency alerts and what he calls the early warnings as a result of this storm. I can tell you the cleanup process will take some time as they continue to remove power lines from the roadway. There are some power outages as a result of that, much of it because crews had to actually cut power in order to then treat those power lines and reinstall poles. So a massive cleanup here underway, and it will likely take some hours and days to come. We're live in Concord. Nicole Jacobs, WBZ News.
In Marlboro, the storm